I love getting it right on the first try. Unfortunately, there's really no way for me to speed this up because these are square nuts. So I have to use an opening wrench on them. Can't really use a ratchet or anything. Which means I also can't get the drill on it and just zip them out real quick. This is where the video editing would be really nice for you guys. So you don't have to watch me wrench in real time. Just skip the shit. Or just fast forward it. Make it look like I'm working really fast. Or yeah, you can always just skip ahead on the bar by yourselves. That always works too. It's a lot easier on my end if you do that. Or you can just watch me wrench in real time because you obviously have nothing better to do with your time. And you might hear me ramble on about some stupid shit. That could be fun, couldn't it? Almost there. These threads are so nasty. What I really need is a nice set of 8-point sockets. So those will do square heads. There's just 2 4-points. 6 points won't do it. I can try a 12. I don't think a 12 will do square. I don't know though. It's worth a shot. I really don't think these will fit though. Not a whole lot of room anyways. Oh man. And of course I dropped the fucking nut. Why wouldn't I drop it? There's 1 out of 4. Interesting. I've been doing some looking into these motors, and they're fairly universal. one of the interesting things about that, you notice down here, this shaft is basically the same as this shaft, because these were also used for bench grinders, belt sanders, all sorts of stuff. So, had a shaft on both ends so you could use it as a bench grinder. It's also why the switch is supposed to be right here. Nice little toggle switch there for bench grinder use. So, just kind of interesting. Haven't been doing anything super in-depth, but I did find a PDF for an old advertisement for this motor. It's kind of neat to look through it. Also, from what I've gathered, talking to some people, a lot of these older tools, specifically Craftsman drill presses, a lot of times you had to buy the motor separate, which I don't know if that was the case on this specific one, or really I don't know the specifics on it. Just what I've heard from a couple of older people that did actually buy original Craftsman drill presses back in the day. It appeared to have been a bit of a thing where you would buy your power tool, like your drill press or your saw or whatever, and you had to source your motor separate, which is probably why this is a Dunlap instead of Craftsman, but it's sold through Sears and Roebuck. So you buy your Craftsman drill press, and then same time you order yourself a motor through Sears and put the whole thing together, which is kind of cool. Be kind of nice if more manufacturers would do that kind of stuff nowadays, because a lot of times you'll end up with a tool that's fairly decent and a motor that's not, or it allows you to customize. Say you don't want a huge chuck for whatever reason, you just want a little 3/8 guy, but you want more power behind it. You can just go and instead of having to buy it with a smaller motor and pull the motor off and figure out what the hell you're going to do with it, just go ahead and start off with the motor you want. It's jammed up there against the head. Still not entirely sure about the tensioning on this guy. The video may get cut short again. I don't know. If it does, I apologize. Managed to get my son back to sleep, but the other two have been napping for a decent little while now, so they might wake up anytime. If they do wake up, this video gets cut short, and oh well, I'll get back to it when I get back to it. Probably tomorrow. Or maybe later tonight. Who knows? We'll see. Hopefully, I can get more than just me taking the motor off in this video, though. That way it's actually worth uploading. If it's just me pulling the motor off, that's just going to be garbage. There's no point in uploading it until I get the rest of it done. Camera. You gotta love seeing that. I'll pull the camera around here in just a second when I get this bolt off. Or the nut off, I mean. So, see, it's fairly often on the older tools, at least the ones I've pulled apart. And especially if someone else has gotten into it. But not necessarily this. This was actually the factory wire for this, or at least for this motor. I was able to find part number on it. Found a few listings for them. I'm not going to go back with the same one, but it is the right wire. It hasn't been changed out. But looky here, it's been stripped back, and you notice how flat it is. That was just sandwiched between the base of the motor and the backing plate here. Nothing inherently wrong with it. Most tools or machinery grounds to the casing, but most modern tools have an actual bolt and eyelet that it attaches the grounding strap with, rather than just smashing it between two pieces of metal on the casing. Like I said, either way works. Not really a problem. Just amusing. Most of my experience with tearing down tools happens to be with newer German stuff, more so than older American. Okay. There's that. And oh, is that it? No. 1/2 inch. I don't know if you guys can even see me when I'm digging in the toolbox or not. I doubt I'm that good at setting up the camera. Damn it. Are you fucking serious? There we go. I thought for some reason that both of my ratcheting 1/2 inch wrenches were gone. Turns out I don't even need the ratchet. They aren't very tight. And that is our in and out adjustment. Nice. One set screw on either side, 1/2 inch. Got these slide rails here. Gotta go ahead and clean those up, get the rust off them. So our motor bolts here. It slides out to tension the belt. There's also slots here, so we can move the motor up and down to properly align the belt. For the most part, once if we get it fairly close to center on one of the middle two pulleys, we should be good for the other ones. Or you can readjust it every time you slide up and down for the pulley. But usually you have enough play that it'll work just fine wherever you put it. Or instead of setting it off the middle, if you know you're always going to use the bottom one, just set it so it's dead nuts with the bottom one, or set it so it's dead nuts with the top one. Or whichever pulley you're going to use the most. It's whatever. It's your tool. Set it up how you want it. Good God, this thing is nasty. Fucking hell. So, let's see here. I don't know how well you can see all of that. You just there we go. Yeah. This thing's been, I'm assuming, sitting in a barn. Because this just looks like oil and rats' nests. Gotta love rats, gotta love barns. Okay. So there's the motor off, so that takes care of our tensioning problem. Gonna have to do a bit more cleanup cleanup than I originally wanted to. But not the end of the world. That's what we're here for, right? There we go. Come on. So that guy comes out. Couldn't really see it on the opposite side here, but take some of the tension off the spring. The handle you actually use to drive this up and down. You just slide it out a little bit, and that's what releases this. And now that that's totally released, just slide the whole handle off. See, there's a spring there. It's got the bar through the middle of it. What that's for, this guy right here. On the inside of there, it's a shaft with a slot cut through it. That spring goes into that shaft, or the shaft goes into the spring slot. It's for that bar there. And that's what, when you crank it down, allows it to spring back to where it was. So, stupid fucking phone. Okay, there we go. Keeps closing apps that aren't even open. So. Okay, having that all out of there will make cleaning that up a lot easier. I really wish I had compressed air in here. It'd make my life so much simpler. So that allows you to change where's the tensioning on your spring. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. That's not what I was expecting. So, you got your thumb screw here that actually locks it in. It's got a groove, so you can't just pull it out. The thumb screw locks into that groove there. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. You got a shaft, just slit down the middle. And that slit fits into there, and that's what twists your spring around. And by adjusting this knob with your thumb screw, you can adjust how tight that clock spring is. You can't see it on this side. On the other side, there's a roll pin sticking out, and this has a lock on it that rests against that roll pin, and that's what keeps this from just free spinning until this runs out of tension. So that's not bad. Gear doesn't look too heavily chewed up. Actually, it's really not chewed up at all. Definitely got some wear on it. It's been used. But we knew that already. So. Come on. See if we can take a look at that spring real quick. These are my absolute favorite pair of pliers. No idea where they came from. I've tried Googling them and haven't really been able to find much. If anyone out there is familiar with the Bonnie B41 made in the USA, they're angled, they're a short, blunt needle nose. They're also adjustable. Yeah, adjustable pliers, where you've got two different sizes out of them. These things are super useful. I use them for everything. Okay, so there's something actually physically retaining that spring in there. So it's not just going to fall out, which is nice. Keeps it from just dropping out while you're disassembling it. And I'll just take a look in there and see. Appears to just be a pin of some sort. Not super duper worried about it. I don't really need that spring out of there. I just like to be able to look at it and see if it's, getting ready to snap or anything crazy like that. Most likely it's not that. It's not really something that holds a lot of tension usually, unless someone's adjusted this and has absolutely no clue what they're doing. Okay. So that's nice. So for engagement to the upper pulley spindle here, the back end of it's actually cog gear. A lot of the ones I've dealt with, that's actually really cool. See if you can see that. Try and focus it. Come on. You got this. You can do it. Damn, it's not going to focus. Anyways, there's little tiny teeth in between the main large teeth of the gear there. Oh, you'll focus on my glove just fine, just not the fucking gear. Jesus Christ. Anyways, so yeah, it's actually not a 6 tooth, it's a 12. Little tiny guys in there, that's kind of neat. But yeah, some of the other drill presses I've dealt with have just been a smooth bore or a smooth shaft with a keyway. That's kind of neat to see. Haven't really dealt with too many drill presses though. A lot of the drilling I've ever done has actually been on a mill used as a drill. So, or been by hand rather than on a machine. Now, side note, the clock isn't actually having a seizure. It says 3:42 p.m., but for whatever reason the camera doesn't want to register it right. Not entirely sure what's going on with the chuck down here. It's got a loosey-goosey spacer, then there's a bearing right there, and then the chuck itself is pretty solidly attached. It would appear I just got a flat headset screw that takes that out. Let's test that theory. That is close. I need a flat. Currently in the market for some nice insulated screwdrivers for more of my electrical stuff. I've been in the market for a few years now. I just haven't really been able to justify ponying up for a set of Weehaws. I could be completely butchering that, but the last tech that I talked to, that's how he pronounced it. And they work with the Germans every day. So I would hope he knows how to pronounce it. A lot of the machines I used to work on were German. They were only sold through like one place here in the U.S. as far as I know, maybe two. But yeah. So most of their tools were German supplied, and I really, really like the Weehaw insulated screwdrivers. They're really nice. There's a couple other ones I've been looking at. I found some pretty decent deals on like Amazon and stuff. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. They don't do as much electrical as they used to, so it's been a lot harder to justify here lately. Okay, so either I was completely wrong about the one set screw, or this thing seized on here. Either one's a complete believable possibility. So I'm just going to go ahead and thread that screw back in for now. So I don't really intend to change the chuck. You guys are going to blow this way out of budget for me unless he just really feels like paying for it. This is sort of out of pocket at my own expense at the moment because the deal was, yeah, sure, you can borrow my drill press if you fix it. So, I'm fixing it. So, let's see here. Made in Chicago, Illinois, USA. Oh yeah, it's not too far from here. "5B caps, 5/64 to 1/2 inch. THD 1/2 inch to 20. Oh, the threads. Maybe? Yeah, threads. 1/2 inch 20. 1/2 inch by 20. Supreme chuck. Once I get this all brushed off, I'll try and see if I can get the camera to focus on any of it. I really, really doubt it will, though. I'll probably go back and clean this up a bit nicer with a wire wheel rather than just a wire brush. But for right now, that's good enough. Are you going to focus on any of that? No. You absolutely suck. Seriously. Given the failure of the using the other phone as a camera, there's a good chance I'm just going to end up having to suck it up and buy a camera. But I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that. If I'm just going to swap out the SD card every time I want to upload a video. Probably just have to break down and start borrowing my wife's laptop. It's not always available though, because she needs it for work. So, let's go ahead and make sure this chuck actually runs in and out like it should. Which, I'm not feeling any binding anywhere. I could definitely use some oil. Hasn't been used in a while, but seems to be running just fine. That's good. The only thing that really concerns me is this washer being all loosey-goosey like that. Not really sure why, what the point is. Some old-ass grease. Just go ahead and knock that shit out of there. Okay. That's most of it. Actually torn down at this point. Loosen that up down there. What I was really hoping for was that this would be split down the middle, it'd be like a clamshell. That'd make my life a lot easier, because then I could just put a wedge in there, like a cold chisel, smack it, or just wedge it in there enough that it breaks that seal that it's made with the rust. That's more than loose out of there. Side for now. I'll get back to the motor in a minute. Hopefully I'll be ordering the switch for that guy here soon, and we can actually get this guy operational, ready to go, and I can start looking at buying the studs and the clamps for the metal brake. Dropped a washer or two. Maybe just the one? I don't know. I guess we'll find out when I go to put it back together and something's missing, won't we? Turn that upside down. Knock all the shit out. Oh, hey. Make life a little easier. I wonder if I just pull this. Oh, there it is. I have no idea where the fuck that nut goes. I did not thread anything out of that nut. It's healthy. Oh, there it is. Haha. Goes to the deck. I thought it fell from the head. Let's go ahead and unclamp that. Let's see if I can just slide the whole head off. That'd be nice. Make it a lot easier to deal with. Let's find the persuader and see if I can get anywhere with this. No. Can't be too loud with this guy though. Also, I'll definitely wake up the kids and the video's done. That'll also make cleaning up the shaft a lot easier. If I can just knock this head off of here and wire wheel the whole shaft. There's got a couple of different colors of paint on here too. You see bits of yellow and green and black.